What's up guys, Rob the Awesome here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the miniature medley of spy melees that the game has to offer and deciding which is the best and which is the worst. Let's go! Before I start, there are certain things you should know before watching. These guys don't just focus purely on the stats, we also focus on the psychological portion of the weapon as well, and how it affects both the user of the weapon and the victims against it, so keep that in mind while watching. Another thing is that if a weapon isn't listed in this video, then the only reason for that is because it's a reskin of another weapon. End of story. Lastly, I advise people to read the pinned comment at the top of the comment section to understand what these guides are about and what my intentions are when making them. It's important to understand the reason for why I do these guides and grasp the bigger picture for past, present, and future best and worst videos. Alright, we good? Here we go. Like always, let's start with the stock knife. This standard issue butterfly knife works a little differently than any other melee in the game. For starters, the melee hit is registered immediately. All spy knives get right to the point and instantly attack your targets on demand. The knife does a meager 40 damage on hit, which gets outclassed and damaged by most melee weapons out there. However, spy knives have the ability to do 600% of the enemy's total health worth of damage when attacking from behind, giving spies the ability to instantly kill with a backstab. What a glorious mechanic to have for such a distinguished rogue, the ability to instantly kill a target by giving them a good old backstab. That'll keep you awake at night, that's for sure. Spy melees pose a serious threat on the battlefield since there are no resistances to them except for popping a stock ubercharge. But before that becomes a possibility, it may already be too late. Spy knives don't focus on the damage since they have this insane mechanic to instantly kill anyways. Instead, the value you want to look for is survivability. Improving upon your cloak timer, your speed, or your protection, these are key factors to deciding between the best and the worst spy knives in your arsenal. However, I'll be the first to admit that this category is one of, if not the hardest category to decide upon. All spy knives are viable, and with the small amount there are on the table, it'll be a real doozy to pick which ones will come out on top. But that's what I'm here for, tracking only the finest of kitchen utensils to dine on all of the sweet, sweet backstabs. Time to put these melees to the test, but for now, we're gonna put this weapon right in the middle and go from there. Next up on the list of spy melees is none other than the Spycicle. This unrealistic ice pop brings shivers down the enemy's spine, providing good attack with good utility. On kill, you create an ice statue that symbolizes an immediate spy threat. Not really a downside, but worth mentioning regardless. When active and on hit by fire, the spy becomes fireproof for 1 second and immune to afterburn for 10 whole seconds, countering one of the spy's biggest rivals and all while improving the chances of survival. However, the downside is that your Spycicle melts when hit by the flames, and it takes 15 seconds for you to get it back, removing an overall key tool in your spy's arsenal. How delightful! A spy knife that protects you from one of your greatest threats? What more could you ask for? I mean, sure, the knife disappears, but did you know you can refill the knife with ammo boxes? All you'd need is 2 medium ammo boxes or 1 large one to reduce the timer significantly. If your knife burns out and you find a large ammo box right away, it's almost as if your knife never left you, and you still have 10 seconds of afterburn immunity? Talk about a lifesaver. If you can just get your knife back in mere seconds, why wouldn't you use it? Spies have to go to ammo box to regain their cloak meter anyways. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone and it takes away the downside completely. But what about the ice statues? What about them? Sure, they are a nuisance, but it's more cosmetic than anything. Communication in a team-oriented game already calls the spy out the moment he kills someone. A statue doesn't make him even more known than he already is. If anything, it makes the battlefield even more beautiful to look at, like a snowflake garden in the middle of July. Because the knife helps with surviving a major threat to the spy, and all while having no downsides to worry about, this weapon goes above the stock knife. I understand why a lot of people prefer the stock over the Spycicle though, because if a hint of flame stops you from that awesome med pick, then you may lose out on a major advantage. But in actuality, if a spy poorly times when he goes in for that to happen, then he should reconsider his strategy and perform without flaws in future fights. Whether you're trying on a new outfit or just want to spice up your gameplay, look no further, for we have the Your Eternal Reward. Lots of customization in the palm of your hands. Upon a successful backstab, you automatically disguise as the person you kill, taking their place and blending into the crowd. The knife is also a silent killer, making no sudden noises or kill feed notifications when successfully killing your target. However, the downside to wielding such awesome powers is that your cloak drain rate is increased by 33%, reducing your cloak time immensely. Lastly, if you fall into bad habits to disguise all the time, the knife now requires you to have a full cloak meter before you can do so, using up all of your cloak for 1 measly disguise. Oof, already I can see a lot of problems going on with this one, but we'll go down the stats one by one and give it a fair analysis. For starters, you get to disguise as the guy you killed. Pair that with the silent killer effect and it's almost like a complete swap happened without anyone noticing. There are even times when I stabbed a heavy and the medic that was healing him still thought it was the same guy. It's crazy what you can pull off with this awesome effect, but do the upsides outweigh the seemingly terrible downsides? A reduced cloak timer is awful. It makes makes watches feel weaker than they already are, and it almost feels like you are forced to run the L'étranger just to counter it. But that's not even the worst of it. If you want a disguise out of the deal, it requires a full cloak mirror to then completely wipe it afterward. Paired with the Dead Ringer or a cloak and dagger watch, you've got no means to properly blend in or get behind the enemy to make the upsides work. I mean, there is the strategy where you can put on the disguise in spawn so that you don't waste the cloak meter, but that still leaves you with an extremely low cloak time anyways. One downside counteracts an upside or a situation that can help out another one. It's an endless cycle that doesn't give you anything beneficial whatsoever. It hurts your invisibility, it hurts your disguise game, and it doesn't give you anything beneficial since the silent killer effect gets countered by pure communications. And because of these reasons, this weapon goes below the stock knife. I'm sorry to say, but Valve went a little bit too far with nerfing this weapon. It was already good before. Nobody asked for such major changes. I'm hoping the Euro reward will rise up to become the weapon everyone wants it to be. That last knife was interesting to say the least, but let's try to keep things simple from here on out. Introducing our next melee in the lineup, we have the Big Earner. As the name implies, getting kills will earn you big rewards. For example, you receive 30% of your cloak mirror back on kill, guaranteeing some form of invisibility for escaping. Also, the spy receives a 3-second speed boost which he can utilize in running away or catching up for multiple chain stabs. Furthermore, the downside is that you lose 25 of your overall max HP, lowering your total health from 125 to 100 for you to thrive on. Very tricky. Trading in some of your health for some major benefits is kinda risky, but is it worth it? Reducing your health to a mere 100 health puts you in range of getting one-shot by scouts, soldiers, and demo men. Already, that's not a good thing. But let's check out the upsides. 30% cloak gain on kill and a free speed boost that practically doubles your speed? That's pretty awesome, don't you think? It opens up so many possibilities for the spy, like guaranteed escape routes, multiple backstabs, and cloak for when you start to run low. Spy needs as much survivability as he can get his hands on, but it's ironic seeing his health drop in the process. What do we make of all this? Is it balanced? Is it amazing? Where does this knife stand amongst the rest? I've thought about this constantly, and there are many different angles where this could be seen from. For starters, a health loss on the spy means absolutely nothing. If a spy gets spotted, he's almost guaranteed to die anyways, so in some cases it can be seen as a straight upgrade. On the other hand, you get instantly destroyed with one hit on the spot, not even giving you a chance to surf a rocket and perhaps survive a death sentence. Overall though, it's clear to see that even though the upsides are amazing, you don't get anything without properly killing someone with it first, leaving you with a permanent and heavy downside to bear throughout your spy gameplay. Because the Big Earner's upsides are great, but the downside, as minor as it is far heavier by comparison, this weapon goes below the stock knife. The Big Earner is definitely a great spy knife in the long run, but that one shot can be the difference between a med pick or your team's destruction. Besides, if you don't get kills with it, you're left with nothing for the match, making spy more challenging to play in the process. Last but certainly not least, time to show off your inner weeb with the one, the only, the Conniver's Kunai. All spy mains watch anime, it's common sense at this point, and with that, you get the latest in Kunai technology. On backstab, you absorb the health of your victim, healing up to a certain amount based on the total amount of health they had. Your max HP can only go up to 210, but decays slowly after 60 seconds of the backstab. The downside to wielding such blood-sucking power is that your maximum health is reduced by 55, making your overall health 70 for the ultimate risk and reward playstyle. And we're back to the same scenario again. Health loss for something that seems fantastic. Great. Well, I can save you guys the rant on why it isn't going above the stock knife, and I doubt it hurts your gameplay more than the Euro reward does, so the ultimate question begs to be answered. Which is better, the Big Earner or the Kunai? I'll be completely honest, for the longest time I had no idea which would come out on top. Endless research was done, spy mains questioned, Twitter polls, and still ends up being near ties each and every time. They seem like equals, twins that share the same goal but look completely different on the outside. Well, let's point out the differences and go from there. The Kunai reduces your health to 70, which is 30 more loss compared to the Big Earner, but still nothing changes. You will still get one shot by scouts, soldiers, and demo men. It's not like you can get half shotted or anything, so that doesn't help much. What about the upsides? A major health increase on backstab versus extra cloak and speed. What a matchup! If you backstab someone with the Big Earner, you got guaranteed invisibility and speed to get away. However, if you backstab with the Kunai, you get a lot of health to then escape with a 60-second fade time before you lose that health. How can we decide between these two? Simple. One major flaw in one of these upsides holds the key to that decision, and that would be the enemy's health. The enemy's health? What does that matter? A backstab is a backstab, right? Wrong. Sure, that may be the case with the big earner, but with the kunai, the enemy's health completely matters for the upside to work. If the enemy is near death, let's say 50 HP, you'll only be receiving a small bit of overheal compared to backstabbing a fully overhealed target. In the midst of a fight, you can't guarantee the enemy to have full health to give you maximum overheal. Some enemies will be below half health and the extra health won't even matter at that point. You'll still be low on HP and the enemies will either straight up murder you or reset your situation back to square one. I've made my decision. This may not bode well with a lot of you, but you've got to admit it was a tough choice to choose. Because the kunai is on par with the big earner but entirely relies on the situation that the enemy is in, this weapon goes below the big earner. No matter what was decided, half of you were going to object and the other half was going to rejoice. But if they do share one thing in common, they are no match for the reliability of stock, forcing you to be more cautious of one-shots for unguaranteed upsides. And those are the best and worst spy melee weapons. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you want to see more of these types of informational videos, leave a like and subscribe to let me know. Every sub counts, it only takes one click to help out the channel. Also, if we manage to hit 50,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a super duper unusual giveaway. So, if you got the message, be sure to put in all caps stab, stab, stab to let me know. Remember to be awesome, stay awesome, and to have an awesome day. I'm Rob the Awesome, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao for now.
Motherfucker, I'm awesome. No, you're not, dude. Don't lie. I'm awesome. I'm driving around in my mom's ride. I'm awesome. A quarter of my life gone by, and I met all my friends online. Motherfucker, I'm awesome. I will run away from a brawl. I'm awesome. There's no voicemail, nobody calls. I'm awesome. I can't afford to buy 8 balls, and I talk to myself on my Facebook wall. You know my pants sag.